G'day guys, welcome on in. We have a brand new fresh canvas here waiting to attack and I'm real excited. Now I'm sorry about the background. Usually we have a beautiful nature to look at, and it is. It's literally right out there, but if I spun you to face it, the lighting's all off for the painting. So you're just gonna have to live with this background. This is not my house. We are house sitting here. Shelby and I cannot afford a place like this. But it's nice to be here, and we have a beautiful, beautiful surface to be painting. So I'm excited. Thanks for being here with me. And today, I promised that we would be doing an animal. An animal. So, I've got a pretty special picture here that I've wanted to paint for a hot minute. This bull here, it's a bull, an animal bull, right there, that there. I know it's not the best of an image, it's actually kind of blurry, but we're going to use it as the reference photo to make this picture. So this bull's name, this bull, is called Touched Wood. We're going to make that happen. That is the plan. That is the plan. And although we don't get beautiful nature all around us everywhere, we do get the beautiful fresh air of the outdoors. Yeah, there we go. Used to play a computer game, and there was this hero you could play in the computer game as, called Enchantress. Enchantress, when you would like appear back at base, she'd go, "Ah, the great outdoors." And it was great the first 5 times she said it. But on the 365th time she said it, too much. Too much. Alright. Now, do you know what's really funny here? What's really funny is that to put the picture up, we're going to use a bull clip, which is suitable because it's a bull. Alright. And I'm going to put this image just over here. Now, this kind of artwork's impressionism is a good way to say it. When I say impressionism, I mean we're going to make an impression of the bull. That's the key. So we're not going to be doing a expressionism where we make up all the lines we see. We're going to be doing exactly influencing ourselves from every single bit inside the image, applying it to here. And the reason it won't be realism is because we're going to be overly focused on, well, we're going to be focused, but our tools are going to stop it from being perfect. The paint isn't perfect, so that'll influence it. Anyway, let's go. I've got a couple of plates here. Now, usually these plates are in a far, far better condition, but if you look at these, they got caught in the rain, so they're a little bit weird and folded. So, anyway. Aha! So pleased you've decided to take in the now. That is the plan. That is the plan. I'm here to take in the here and now. Okay. Alright. Let's chuck on first colour. Hard to see because I don't keep this place very tidy. It is turquoise. Is that the first colour you should start a bull with? Well, in this case, yeah. And my favourite thing of all, I use this liquid here. This is actually a blend, but it's called Primal, 2 litres. I love this stuff. G'day Ryan, welcome on in. First things first, I don't know if anyone's ever taught you this, but this plate I have here, if you just put liquid all over this, it's going to slosh all over the place. And since we're not on grass, first, I don't know if anyone's ever taught you this, but this plate I have here, if you just put liquid all over this, it's going to slosh all over the place. And since we're not on grass, I have a cute little taco. And in this taco, I can paint. Where am I? Well, I answered that earlier, but I'm currently fighting to get this lid off. I'm currently in... Hello. Oh, hello, Janice. Oh, there we go. Stuff here, it gets that lid cemented on. I'm currently in Tauranga. I'm in Tauranga, but This is not my home. Shelby and I are house sitting. We're house sitting for another 5 days. 5 days more of house sitting. And then we cut a track. Right. How are we going to do this? Let's go. There we go. Start from there. And then coming up through here. So, the thing about touchwood, touchwood's one of those breeding bulls. Strong, big, very, very toey, this bull. Toey means he's an angry bull. He's got attitude. It's broken a guy's leg, broken a few guys' spirits. Strength in the bull, that's what we're after here. This bull wants to show off a few different emotions. We want presence, strength, and testosterone. That's what we want to capture in this work. That's what we're after. I want you to know that you have inspired my friend who is 53 to reconnect with his artistic soul. Fee, that's fantastic. First off, congratulations to your friend, and I want you to know that I played a very minor role in that. Your friend has gone about a really, really tough process of bringing back beauty into his or her own life, and that's a big step that they made. A little bit of inspiration or not, that's so cool of them. I'm proud of them. It's not easy, guys, especially when you've put down the tools. It's not easy to come back to them. But if you do make it back to them, at any point in your life, it can be a very, very rewarding experience. I put them down. I left art for a long time, and it was ridiculous, guys. I thought art wasn't a masculine pursuit, and I was on a pursuit to be a man, and so art didn't fit into what I thought that scheme was, and I became less of an individual because of it. I was trying to prove something to myself, and it put weight on me and put weight on the people around me. I love art. Art's what I do, and it took a lot of living for me to realize that actually I don't need to prove things to anyone in the world. I actually just need to prove to myself that I'm living the way that would make the 5-year-old version of me proud, that would make the 70-year-old version of me look back at me and be proud. And that version of me involved making art and sharing it with people. So it took a lot of living to realize that. Thank you. You seriously have to play more than you know. His depression was bad. Thank you. That's tough. That is tough, and I appreciate you saying that. But I just want you to know that I'm proud of him. That's the big thing there. It's, yeah. Inspired or not, it is not easy to pick back up the tools and get back into it. So, congratulations. That's a massive thing. You know, there was actually a live a while ago with a guy called Josh in it. And Josh was like, hey, I've been jumping on a few of the lives, and quick thing, I've started doing art again, and I quit smoking. What? It was wild. And he genuinely did. And he messaged me like 2 weeks later again. He's like, hey, just wanted you to know, I'm still making art. Haven't smoked since. So, I don't know what you want to draw from that, but for this particular individual, art was a saving thing. Like, he quit smoking. It might literally save his life. It figuratively saved mine. Sorry, we're making a painting here too. I need some green. Not because we need green in the picture, but because eventually green tones will be needed at some point. It's a stupid thing to say, that means green's needed in the picture. But I want them underneath other colours. So we start with them so they fall to the back later on. We put the colour you think would be necessary on first, so it gets covered by all the other hues. That's the plan. That is the plan. Here we go. A little bit of this. This makes the paint run really nicely. And we're mixing it in. We're mixing it in to a little bit of the blue. So it's green, but it's like a green kind of motley green. I like the term motley. Where is the wine and Kessel? You know, user, for context for everyone else, user 614703, we'll just go with that for now, because any more than that, and we get, probably overkill. User 614713 has the audacity, let's say, to come into these lives about every 48 hours. And user 614703 says, I'm eating wine and cheese without fail every time. Now, I like wine and I like cheese, but I don't think I like wine and cheese as much as user 614703. You're impressive, mate. Do you have an online course you could recommend for him? Okay, I don't, actually, and I'm really, really sorry. What I would say, though, is art's weird, and when it comes to craft and courses, I don't think you get into the right emotional state from a lot of courses. They provide motivation, but not the inspiration a lot of the time. And if I find a way to develop a course that fixes that, I'll let you know. But actually, I think what actually happens is, if you want craft, go to YouTube. There's incredible videos, how to draw eyes, how to draw feet, faces, landscapes, blend colours, whatever. But I think the best thing to inspire for creation is just to be in the environment like this right here. This isn't a course, but I want to try and get the vibe of painting, the feeling of it, and give it to you guys, ideally. To not take away from the original work we're making, to not take away from it, but actually to share the process, because an original goes to one place, guys. It's expensive, it's framed, it's all the things, but if you can actually share the process of the original being made, then for free, a lot more people can be a part of what's been made, and that's pretty cool. I'm just trying to think about online courses. Honestly, I think the best thing to get, rather than doing a course, possibly, is a mentor. Mentors are fantastic. If you can get a mentor, someone who just genuinely, every now and again, gives a little bit of feedback or insight, can really set you on a course of the right direction. Because on our own, and I know this all too well, we have a tendency to get lost. And if you have someone who just stops from getting lost, I don't know, 20% as much. A masterclass. The masterclasses are probably the best one, guys, because a lot of those people who've been there and actually lived it and done it do a masterclass course. But I don't know. Do they do specifics, or are they more just broad? I forget. Anyway, I get a lot of requests for a online course, but I'm not going to do one for you guys until I genuinely believe there's some sort of value I can provide you beyond what we do here in these lives. If I feel like it's just a masterclass for the sake of making money, and it's not something we want to sell, I feel like that's mistrusting to... It's a good guess. It's actually a big black bull. So it's not exactly this, but if you were to guess, there'll be a bit of Santa Gratigas in it. Santa Gratigas is that bull that has the massive hump in its back. Oh no, sorry. It'll be Brahman. Santa Gratigas has those floppy ears as well. Brahman has that big, strong hump that comes up here that gives them that really, really intense presence, muscle, strength. So we want to capture that. Let's get a little wearing the white. But quit being so distracting, guys. You're getting caught up on this. I've seen a real buffalo at Yellowstone Park. Those things are massive. They get bigger and bigger the closer you get to them. Which is funny because you think that's an obvious statement, but it's actually still compelling when it happens to you. You're like, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. Like, they've got little bums. Little itty bitty bums. You know, their back haunch, if that's what you call it, it's quite small. But their front, a buffalo has a big old front on it, stacked. And so I think that makes them good at charging. But a bull's build, say that 10 times fast, is a bit different. Because with a bull, they're not front loaded. They're spread over the entire unit of them. They are inspiring. I know what you mean. You're so right. He found a guy in Aussie that does a master course and she gives individual feedback. That's important. Yeah, that is important. That is good. Sometimes as well, obviously there are celebrities who do courses, but sometimes it's nice to actually have a deeper level. Because James Cameron, for example, if he did a course, I think he does have a master class. He doesn't have time to connect with each individual person. You can just do the course. But if you took, like this person in Aussie's course, it's very, very different, because now you're dealing with the actual person who can provide meaningful feedback to you. And it's not that you need the very top of the stack genius to help you. Sometimes it's a person who's just slightly a little bit more of a leg up, who can reach down and give you a hand up, you know. A lot of the time we want that big break. If only someone big would see me and take me to the stars. It's actually not like that. I think we actually just... If someone can give us a hand up, that's nice. A pair. Someone very, very close to where we're at. And then more importantly, if you want that to happen, be the change that you want to see, and actually look around for people that you can pull up. Because a lot of the time we actually sit there and think, oh, I'd just love a hand up, I just need a hand. How many people are you in front of right now who could use a hand from you? And yet you're looking for someone bigger again to give you a hand. And although that's nice, helping out everyone is key. And usually when you're feeling unfulfilled or lost in your process, and it happens to me, it's probably because I stopped helping people as much. And actually when I get back to the grassroots of this and start speaking to people, replying to people in the inbox, talking with people, suddenly it changes. It really, really changes. And what ended up happening is I start valuing to a much higher degree. Actually, it's not all about me, or it's not all about you. It's about helping other people. It feels good. It feels way better to give a hand up than it feels to actually take another rung up, if that makes sense. Like, it feels good to grow, become a better person and whatnot, and actually go places professionally. Definitely does. Feels better to help someone get to where you are, so to lift someone the next step. Feels real good. But that being said, we don't talk about any craft stuff on this live. We never do that. You guys know that. We never do that. Because you don't need me for that. You don't. There's all that stuff on YouTube. What you do need is to get a reminder that you don't need to be miserable while you do your craft. You can actually be happy, you can be bouncy, you can be loose, energetic, joyful. I feel like there's this whole culture in creativity that your art must take sacrifice, and through that sacrifice you must be miserable. And that would be a mistake, because for art to truly be beautiful, we want to know that it was a labour of love. When I say a labour of love, I mean that you were happy to make the sacrifice, that it was a joyful process. Kind of like a runner loves to run. In the same way, cheers Justin, in the same way an artist should love to make. It shouldn't be a grueling thing that you feel makes you lesser by the end of it, that exhausts you and breaks you. It should be like a run. When you finish a run, what happens when you finish running? When you're finished running, you're exhausted, but you're happy. It's a good kind of exhaustion. It's different. You feel vitalized, yet tired. That's what art should bring to the table. That's what I believe that art should bring to the table. My background is in education and teaching, and one of the best teachers are the closest and relatable. Yeah. I used to say all the time that some of the best influences I ever had were my peers. Because a lot of the time, we think that, oh, if only this famous artist would talk to me, if only this famous musician would talk to... No. Talk to your peers. But they're not artists. No, they're not. And that means they might have opinions that you never thought about. So listen to them and respect their opinion and let their opinion alter and change you. When, Kat, did I discover my love for painting? Okay, I always used to paint. Always. I talk about this in the on the website, but I always used to paint. And I thought, historically, that it was a selfish pursuit. That by painting I was doing something selfish just for me, you know, and I got a kick out of it, and so that's why I'll do it. Now, I thought that the whole way through high school. And then around my 20s, I decided I'm going to drop painting. I'm going to stop doing it because it's not masculine. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm done with it. And what's really interesting about that is the only reason why I came back to it in my late 20s was because I realized that it's not a selfish pursuit. It's the thing that I can do to put more good into the world. It's what I can do to make people happy. It's what I can do to improve other people's lives. Not in a massive way. We're not changing the country. We're not altering the system as a whole. We're not giving you a utility like water or a roof over your head. But if there's an image in your house that every day it gives you that 1/8 of a coffee, that little kick and bit of happiness, and you get that for 20 years each day from that work, there's value in that. And so there's this passive happiness that art can bring. And I never valued that. And it was only until I didn't realise it, I wasn't smart enough to, it was only until someone slapped me over the head, a collector actually, who had to really chase me down to say, this is what you do, and I need to have it. And that's when I realised, okay, I'm wrong, and I need to reevaluate my worldview and how art fits into it. And we did, and here we are. I'm no artist, but as a teacher, I can teach valuing what is already inside and connected around you. See, that's funny, because it was actually, is the word educate. That's Greek, isn't it? Educate. Educate doesn't mean to put in. Educate means to bring out. And so when they'd use the word to educate you, they mean to bring it out of you. And I feel like typically in the West, in our education system, or the way we view it, we imagine this information as this resource that you'll inject into the person. And it's not really like that. At least, not the way that ancient Greece saw it, right? It shouldn't be. Especially not with art. It shouldn't be an insert of information. It should always be this beautiful raw amber yellowish. Don't mind if I do. There we go. Lovely. It should always be an education process. If you're ever in an art class, guys, creative class, red flag if they actually try and push information onto you. If they leave the field open and allow you to educate yourself with art, that's a very different thing, because art's already in you. You're not trying to learn art, because art's feelings. You're already there. You're learning how to bring those feelings out into the world. And the better the artist, the better their ability to get their feelings and make an impression of it on a 2D surface. But don't let anyone gaslight you and say that you're not a good enough artist. Ugh, gross. You can't feel enough, you don't have enough taste. You may be bad at making the impression of how you feel and bringing it into the world, but actually, the feelings that you do have, utterly, completely valid. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's get a bit more through here. So this is a beautiful, beautiful raw sienna. Raw sienna is one of the most old school colours because it's an earthy colour, like an earth pigment. So burnt sienna, raw sienna, you can get them from, earth pigments come from clays in the ground. So, now this part here, just yeah, that there. Okay, that's awkward. There's 3 legs on this ball. Okay, there we go. It comes up through there and through there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just like that. Now, funny thing, start with the book. G'day, Pink Prospector. Welcome on in. Interesting viewpoints on things. I've never thought about it that way. That's because I believe sometimes a culture develops around things, Pink. And I think with art, there is a little bit of gatekeeping that goes on with who's allowed to have opinions. But it's 2024, guys, and I think we can all accept that everyone has feelings. And the better you can articulate your feelings, the more of an adult you are. Can you control, articulate, and enjoy your feelings? Because we used to have this definition of an adult. A man. Someone who didn't have feelings. Stoic. Kind of like a RoboCop. Well done. Bet that sounds like fun. Hey, do you want to know the best version of a man? One that doesn't have feelings. Ugh. Like, ooh, gross. Not just gross, like, you want, of course you want masculinity to a degree, maybe, if that's what you're into, but do you really want someone so stoic they don't have the ability to actually express or have feelings? Is that really what anyone's after? And so actually, we're not questioning whether everyone has the same playing field of feelings, we're questioning how do you transpose them into the world. And artists with different mediums are just different forms of getting your own feelings and transposing them. For me, I love colour, I love paint. And although we're painting a bull, part of me will transpose onto this. Not in the actual bull, I'm a homo sapien, but in the paint strokes, in their perky style, and the fun colours we choose. That will be the playing field. Fee, absolute. I had the kids to practice connecting with feelings of different colours and start anywhere. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I often marvel at children and their ability to literally start anywhere. You could give a kid this, and I said, alright, I'm drawing a bull, take over for me. They would literally come in here and keep going. They wouldn't give it a second thought. If I put an adult here and said, this is a bull, keep going, they'd have to know where the head was about to go, where the horns were, what was going on, what the plan was. We have less of an ability to actually just let loose and let process and fun take control. And that's not a good thing. That's a mistake that we allowed ourselves to get so caught up in, what would you call that? Caught up in something. What are we caught up in? If we can't just go with the flow, have fun. I know I'm in the wrong place when I'm making art and I'm not having fun. When I'm actually finishing a painting set and I'm drained. You're in there for the wrong reasons. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong reasons. But if you go in there and you're having a good time, you're splashing around paint, you're enjoying yourself, regardless of what you make, it'll reflect some elements of that joy. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, some moments are serious. It's hard to have fun when you've been up for 20, 24 hours and your baby's crying and you don't know if she needs a bottle or if she's overtired or what's going on, and you're doing your best and you're rocking. All you need to do is go to sleep. Work's tough, right? You know, all these things build up. Some things do feel serious, and that's not me, Pink. My baby's an absolute darling. Absolute darling. And I do fairly well off no sleep. But I do struggle with other things. If I don't have good nutrition, if I'm not having healthy foods, if I'm eating like, I do get into a bad habit, deep fried chips. What else? Deep fried chips, burgers, bread in general. My heart will go downhill. My anxiety will go up. My results will go down. So, for me, I'll run off no sleep as long as my diet stays good. That's just me as a person. Everyone's different. Some people, they lose the sleep and it's all over Red Rover. That's a problem for them. You know where your Achilles heel is, where you go to battle, where you lose. Listen, deep fried chips. Oh, no, hey. Deep fried chips are my favourite food on the entire planet. Absolutely. Love them to bits. Can't keep me away from them. I'm just saying, when I push it too far, well, we end up in a bit of a quandary. Because all those vegetable oils and deep fried food without any vitamins or minerals, it literally takes a toll on your mental health. The feeling of your gut links into the way you think, and I can see myself not being as much of a not being all I can be when I eat like that. So I try to keep a bit of healthy stuff in the diet. It is part of what gets done. There we go. Beautiful. We're still on the big brush, by the way, guys. Since we're still on the big brush, we're doing big strokes, but we will tone on back to a smaller one as time goes on. But I'm having so much fun with the big brush at the moment. It covers so much territory that you just can't help yourself. But do you dip them in... honestly, okay, here's the most... That's an interesting thought, Dan. Do I dip them in anything? If the chips are B+ or below, I need to dip them in tomato sauce, aioli, and recently chipotle mayo. But if the chip is above a B+, and I mean this, guys, this is very serious, this is more serious than it talks about reality. If the chip is bigger than a B+, and I'm talking A- and above, that chip gets salt and salt alone, with maybe a few touches of like a chipotle or chicken salt. But the perfect chip needs no sauce. If you're using sauce, you have not found the perfect chip. And I know that can be hard for some of you because you think you know what the perfect chip is and the perfect sauce, but then you say, how can I... Seb's saying that I've never tasted the perfect chip if I think that there's a perfect sauce to go with that chip. And I'm saying, yes, tough pill to swallow, guys, but that's where life goes. You're wondering why I'm so passionate about that? Chips are my favourite food, guys, and I take them very seriously. I like chips. I like steak as well. I do like steak, but I've toned back on steak just because I'm getting older. I'm 32, and 31 going on 32 in January, and so I'm trying to cut back on lots of red meat consumption, but also, I I'm trying to do it because I hear a lot of stuff about how they use up way too much water and it's environmentally damaging, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, even if there's an inkling of truth in that, I'm not going to stop eating it, but I'll tone right back. You know, I'll go flexitarian a little bit. But with the chips, potatoes, that's fair game. No one's out here telling me potatoes aren't good for me. So I will have as many guilt-free deep-fried potato chips as I can, knowing that the only person getting hurt is my own health. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm sorry, someone was asking what I was painting, which was actually a relevant question, but I was so busy lecturing you guys on chips and having zero impact on the rest of your day. But this is a bull. This is a bull called Touch Wood. And Touch Wood is a massive Brahmin cross. He might have some Angus in him. Beautiful jet black dark coat. We're not painting him in jet black darkness. We're going to paint him in vibrant, fun tones. Still dark, but vibrant, fun tones. This is that hump on his back. See that? The horn that comes through there. Got a hump there. Beautiful. And this comes on down. Yeah, now we're talking. Give it to me. Just like that, this hair's going to come out a little bit further. That's going to, yeah, there we go. Just like that. Perfect. Now we're going to swap to a smaller brush. Do not panic. It is a smaller brush time. What have we got here? No, 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 no. We come and see it from over here with you guys. Good place. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a good color. Devil with this. This is kind of like a pinky tan. This pinky tan color. And again, bear with me. I'm going to fold this into a cute little taco, just like this. I think I'm going to fold these over first, like this. Then fold the foot. I need a proper taco maker to help me with this, but once you do that, we can put the paint in there, and it's going to stay in the little chute. Look after it. Ah, no, you don't see spray paint. You see a fixative. So this is, and I'm not advertising this, guys. This is pretty cheap and dirty, but Crystal Coat, this stuff here, what you do is you chuck this over it, and it creates a crystal clear, acid-free, non-yellowing, archival safe, protects while you create, stops things from smudging. And I was only using it not for these, but for these little pens I was using. So if you put too many pens down on it, it starts to smudge your own work. So in between these coats from these acrylic markers, I put the fixative down. That was the pattern. But that's, honestly, for this, don't put fixative on this. Don't. You can technically spray acrylic and oil works with fixative. I think it says it on the back. Use a varnish and know which varnish you put on it. If the work's worthy of varnish, know the varnish and put it on properly. And the reason why you do that is because then if 100 years down the track, 20 years down the track, they want to remove the varnish and look after the work because something may have happened to you, then what you can do is, if you've documented the actual products you've used and you haven't used a dirty, cheap fixative, they'll be able to actually strip the varnish, recoat it, and look after your work. Oh, that's a good point. Divas. This is necessary. That's a cup of tea. No, sorry. It's a coffee. But I've been very naughty recently. I've been drinking... Oh my god, paint on my hands. I've been drinking lactose-free coffee. Which has been good, don't get me wrong. But the problem is... Where's that paint go? Which has been good. Lactose-free milk in my coffee, but... I used to be a short black guy, and I still am if it's a very good quality espresso, but at the moment, I just want to get a bit on my face actually, but I've got paint on my hands. It's an awkward situation to be in. Okay. I'm going to wash my hands and then rub that in. That's the plan. 1 second. And I'm going to say thanks for the reminder, Sarah, because even though it's late day sun here in New Zealand, our UV is through the roof. So we call it the UV index. So you can get roasted really, really fast in the sun. Is it a bull? It is. It's a good guess. But do you know the name of the bull? If you don't know the name of the bull, we're not going to count your guess. G'day Taylor, how are we doing? Welcome on in. He's still in Thames. And is this going on YouTube? Yeah. If the bull comes together. If the bull doesn't come together, then I'll spend my time I'll hide it and cry. So, it's a possibility that we might run into. So let's all just get together and root for it and hope that this creature comes out with the picture. But sometimes I'll share the footage anyway because I'm like, I think it's good for people to see you fail every now and again because not all pictures go in the right direction. I'm doing good, still in Thames, nice. We'll be there for ages. Alright. It's the place to be. Thames is a beautiful part of New Zealand. There's a cut in there. There we go. That's going to cut down there. There we go. Here we are. Fill me up. I like what you're doing here. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. And welcome on in, LJ. Lovely to have you here. Hello, Jim. Welcome on in, Jim. Always a pleasure, never a chore. And my partner is not an artist as well. She's got a lot of amazing talents, but she doesn't personally count art as one of them. Now, UV index in the UK is 3. That is outrageously low. Here in New Zealand, it is a delightfully large. It's a delightfully large, like 7 or 8. I think even right now, in the midday later on day sun, we're still going to be busting around a, yes I am LJ, I'm wearing sunscreen alright, we're still going to be busting around a 5 or a 6, it's going to be hot, but that's part of the fun here in New Zealand. You go outside, wear sunscreen, no exception. Paint on my face there? You see that? Paint on my face. No, we're good. And hello to Florida, welcome on in. All the way from Florida. Hanging out here in a stream of random Kiwi painting a cow. What a world, what a world. Okay, let's get this brush. There. Let's grab the black. We're going to grab some black paint now, team. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. There we go. Okay. Black. The definer of colours. The ruiner of paintings. They always tell you to avoid black. But black's not a colour to be avoided, it defines a painting. And so in that definition you lose all colour and sometimes expression. So you have to choose that dance between how much colour and expression are willing to lose in order to actually get that definition from the black. And sometimes it's a dance. I'll go into the black zone, come out of the black zone, I'll use some colour, I'll put a bit more black on. There's really no hard and fast rule on how to know when to stop, how much black should be in it. Some works get really dark. One successful work that had like an atrocious amount of deep black in it was Duck Dive. Duck Dive, half that painting is just deep, succulent black. And, but now, I wouldn't risk that again. I think Duck Dives are the blackest painting that I've made. Like, I wouldn't go that deep again. Even this bull here, with its completely black coat, we're not going to do that as intense, I don't think, as Duck Dive. But Duck Dive was trying to represent the depths of the ocean and show that, you know, that feeling when you're in the water and you see down and you see dark depths, you know, and then when you look up, you see beautiful cascading kaleidoscopes of colours. That was, the work was supposed to have that contrast, but for the sake of this bull, we won't be doing that. We're just going to capture a beautiful velvety kind of coat. The wave sounds relaxing. Oh, not a wave. It's actually the wind coming through the trees around here. But it makes this noise of it almost passing by. But, Sunflower. Welcome on in. Oh, Ryan. Alright, I was going to say exactly what Ryan said. Ryan said it. I don't need to say it. You absolute champion, Ryan. Appreciate you. You know that. Yeah, there is paintings available. But at the moment, there is a few originals available, I should say. Commissions, there are commissions available. There is no more for this month. We are stacked, absolutely stacked. So if you do want a commission, you're looking at the earliest, sort of around the 5th to the 10th of next month. Oh, yes, absolutely. Guys, everything goes everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, art can reach you. And if you go onto the website or on the Instagram thing there, you should be able to see the boxes the art goes in. I forget if I pinned it or not. I probably didn't. But anyway, you can see the boxes the art travels in. It's going to get to you safe. Everything's going to be perfect. You're totally all golden. It's just the hardest thing is nutting out what exact photo do you want to capture. And sometimes what we'll do is we'll be like, okay, I want a commission spot, let's do it in July or whenever. I don't quite know what I'm after, here's 75 photos. And I'm like, okay, completely, fresh eyes across these photos, I like these 12. and you go away and think about that a little bit, and you say, I think this, and then we meet up again, and you're like, that one, that's the one. But usually, the best commissions we do, the person doesn't actually know exactly what they're after. They just have a journey in mind. You know, sometimes the most fun quests are the ones where you don't know where you're going to end up. Kinda. Kinda. But sometimes too, we have a very clear, set idea in mind, and we just send it. Like the one, you guys remember 700 Springs Ranch? And we were literally like, that was wild. I enjoyed that one. That was messy, messy layers, one after another to make that landscape. But, and now we're making a bull. This is just a project of passion though, guys. I actually like this particular bull, so I want to paint him. But, at the moment, for the rest of this month, we're working on Portrait of Max. I've got another work actually that's due to be made of a American Indian on horseback at the Grand Canyon. So that one's coming up. That one is coming up. But I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm not sure if we start it this month or not. But definitely, we're going to put a frame on Max and get Max going to Greg in America. And then, luckily too, actually, guys, full disclosure, Shelby's been helping me out a little bit because I've been getting snowed under and doing less painting because I'm trying to talk to clients and do commission requests and things. And honestly, I want to spend more time in front of you guys painting, but my email box gets so far behind and it's not fair on you guys. So Shelby's been giving me a little bit of a hand to actually get things organised, which organisation is not my strength. Shooting from the hip and making things work in the moment and dealing with the resources you've got, that's where I thrive. And that's not the talent set that you want to go into an email box with. like not even in the slightest. I know that feeling. There's a spot in my home where I just cannot find the right picture. Jump on the form, link in the bio. Jump on the link in the bio. There's a commission form there. When you find the commission form, you can upload pictures. Now what that'll do is it'll ask you for your email, all that sort of stuff. It'll send me an email and I'll be able to actually come back to you with all the details. But once we start the conversation, definitely send me, yeah, Ryan's onto it. Definitely send me pictures of the place where you're thinking of putting it. It's not because it completely changes the artwork, but some things, you know, accents, small bits of the composition will suit certain rooms better than others. Doubtful Sound, that's a work that's going to go to the Netherlands. That was that landscape I did. But that one there had a walnut frame that I made for it. And they showed me the space and all their tones were pale wood. And I'm like, you can't have a walnut frame, guys. I've got to... And it was a classic one because he's like, I'll take the walnut. I'm like, no. I'm going to swap it. So he'd have the work by now if it wasn't for me wanting to actually pull the walnut frame off it and put the pale wood frame on it. And basically the plan with the pale wood is it's going to just match all the other accents inside the building for him. So it's an important factor. But once that goes to the Netherlands, I'm so excited, guys. That was a fun project. Long overdue getting to the Netherlands as well. Long overdue. But we're going to make the actual image available for you guys. So for anyone else looking for prints, backgrounds, whatever, that image is inbound, which is pretty fun. Pretty fun. G'day, Hector. Welcome on in. I know that feeling... Oh, no, that's the same one. I'm following. Hector made me panic. He was sitting through some gifts there, so I went and reread an old comment. Crumbled under the pressure. It was embarrassing. Everyone was watching. There we go. I'm going to add a bit of white into this now. The black needs to go to grey. That, my friends, was a delightful coffee. High Priestess. High Priestess. A lot of Z's there. Falling asleep. It's going to get a little bit... See that stuff there? This is the liquid. Can you see that liquid inside this taco? Mix that into it, and that keeps it, the viscosity, nice and thin. Because see how that paint's quite buttery and thick? If we put that straight on, too much texture. I want texture, but not in the first layers. In the later layers. Would you be interested in doing an artwork for a New Zealand school journal about a child's artistic journey? Okay, let me just say off the bat, yes, definitely. Jump on the contact thing on the website. We can absolutely do things for schools. All the time. Absolutely. Whether we actually make an original work, if it fits with the calendar, or whether we actually give you copyright to use any of the previous works, you know, a license to use it, both things entirely possible. But basically, as soon as you say school, count me in. But you need a contact, so all the stuff on the website. And we can have a proper conversation about it. I'm trying to paint a bull right now. Ooh, Isam. That is a fun one. And High Priest Zzz, suddenly very, very relevant. Great name. She said she's a hypnotist, which is a hilariously good name to have. Very, very relevant. Very, very clever. Something else there, I lost my trail of thought. You like the colours in this painting? Oh, thank you. No, Isam. That's the person. Isam, I like your interpretation. I can't see the dragon. I'm going to step back and have a little look-see with you guys. Let me see here. Isam, I don't see the dragon. I'm too locked into that bull. But you see the bull and you see the dragon, so... That's kind of the purpose of a slightly more abstracted impressionist style, though, Isam, because you want to be losing yourself in the brushstrokes and actually be able to see your own thing. With a lot of realism paintings, it feels like sometimes they say, you must see this. This is the subject that you must see. But with Impressionism, it's kind of like, I've tried to capture an impression of the subject. What do you see? And actually, you are actually very entitled to say, when you look at Impressionist work, I don't see anything. Don't use that as a reason to say I don't like it, though. You want to say, I don't see anything, and just keep looking. And if you see little fun pockets, if you see shapes and characters, faces, landscapes, that you're not sure were intentional or not, chances are they weren't. But that's your own mind, your own human mind looking at a picture and getting to enjoy little aspects that were unintentional by the artist. And in a world where social media sometimes feels like, you can feel sometimes like you're being manipulated, to be able to look at a painting and just join the sort of cascade of information without manipulation and see what you want to see or not see what actually is there, you're empowered to do so. It's quite refreshing, I lose myself in it. Because sometimes I get a little bit sassy, I'm bad like this, at my social media feed, being like, what are you trying to show me to sell me something? And how ridiculous is it? Because obviously, when you're going through your feed, it's all stuff there that you're supposed to like, because that's the idea. But sometimes I get suspicious. I hate being in different time zones, but I have to sleep. Have a good day, everyone. And Seb, cheers, Sunflower. I hope you have a good one. We'll catch you later. And that's exciting. Sorry, I don't want to distract you in the here and now. You're totally all good. You're totally all good. Talking while I paint actually keeps me locked in the flow state, if I do it right. If I get too caught up in the talking, my talking goes downhill, so I start losing myself down rabbit holes. And if I get too caught up in the painting goes downhill, because I get over obsessive in certain parts of it, where actually I didn't need to be obsessive. And so there is this relationship between talking, saying, discussing and communicating, and actually creating, that has a relationship and actually making the work better. And it's actually striking a balance there that creates the best paintings. Guys, speaking of, I just got a sandfly bite under my chin, and it is driving me absolutely wild. That is like the worst thing that could have happened. That's a hyperbole, that's a lie, there's so many things that could be so much worse, but oh, it's itchy. Oh, it's so itchy. Oh, I'm going to try and ignore it. But it's so itchy. Not ouch, just straight up annoying. Hello, Ron from Malaysia. Ron, on behalf of the 80 people here and myself, I'd like to compliment you on how great your food is, and I'd like to thank everyone in Malaysia for allowing us to enjoy such amazing cuisine here in New Zealand. My partner loves Malaysian food, loves it. Can you remember the first time you had to stop on a New Zealand road to let cattle pass? No. Does it count if I was driving or if I'm in the car? Because if I'm in the car, it happened before I could even talk. But that's a frequent one. They don't allow it so much though. We take a dim view off traffic being stopped for cattle these days. Which is a pity because it's kind of a Kiwi thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I suppose it confuses international drivers because they come here to New Zealand and all of a sudden the traffic's drawn to a halt and you're not sure why, and it's confusing and probably prone for incident. But when it was just Kiwis everywhere, kind of fun to, you know, halt all the traffic for. So interesting that this happened. Your painting is a bull. Tauros rules the throat. And I am also a astrologer. Alright. Well, I'm a Capricorn. Which means I am half goat and half fish. So you can see why sometimes I always feel a bit gutted. Like, I get the feeling if I was like a Leo, a lion, I'd be like, oh, star signs are great. But I'm a goat fish. So I'm more like, oh, star signs are okay. But I'm not like screaming from the... I would love to be Tauros. And a goat fish probably isn't as bad as Cancer. But I do feel like I drew the short straw. And plus, when I was at camp, I had the nickname. I've got little legs, guys. I got little short legs. And my gym buddy at camp used to call me Goat Legs. And so being a Capricorn as well, a goat fish, it all just blends itself into this big ugly insecurity, which results in me not being totally stoked with star signs. Okay, let me just, there we go. Beautiful. That's interesting too. My dad was Capricorn and he's an artist too. There you go. The old Capricorn. Oh, is that right? It was a rite of passage. Tourists often say it's an amazing thing to stop and have to wait. That's a fun thing. I suppose if you're in a big hurry though, that changes everything. There we go. But yeah, I agree with you, V. I think it's one of those things that's a nice touch in New Zealand, and like it's fun to see that many stock living off grass, living great lives, and wandering past in bulk. Like it's kind of You hear that thing of clean green New Zealand. That really sings to it, if that makes sense. Like you actually get to really see that. I'm going to get some green colours for that grass, guys. We're having some fun with the greys, but I want green. I want green. This. Probably a little bit of Naples yellow can't hurt. What else have I got here? Parchment grey. Tony grey. Haynes grey. None of these ones are actually what I want. I'm being fussy, guys. I'm being super fussy, but there's some particular colours that I'm actually after. Very goal orientated, achievements stable, mature, logical leaders. A lot of fun things about a goatfish. I'll keep doing my best. Yeah. I suppose farmers do actually, you know, in rural roads, it's more of a thing. But I'm not, I guess I'm more on the main roads these days, which is a tragedy because there's so much beauty in the back roads to be enjoyed. Sometimes you've got to take a back road. Here we go. Makes me want to take the back road. Makes me want to take the long way home. Splash. Here we are. Splash all around. Lots of colour. Lots of colour. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. How's it all going today? La Jonesy? Very well. Very well. We're doing layer 1 on this ball. I thought I might try and bring it into finishing, but there's a couple of colours that I currently don't have in my set that I definitely need to actually include. But for now, we'll bring it most of the way with those earthy tones, and then towards the end, maybe splash some pink on it, we'll see. And then that'll be it. That'll be it. There we go. Won't be able to help just a little bit of pink. Around the horns. Makes me wanna take the back road. Makes me wanna take the long way home. Da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. How is that looking? Hey, pretty good looking. Favorite movie? From all the paintings you've done, which one's your favorite? Oh, that's a tough question. Which one's my favorite? Nah. There's not really a singular one. That's the one. That's the favorite. They do different emotions. For love, I like Together the most. That was of two gentlemen at their wedding, and it's in the UK now. It lives in, I think it's London. Massive fan of that one. And then the other one, that's for love. Joy, I like Cassie's Joy, the dog. Massive fan of the dog portrait. We've done a lot of dog portraits, but that one I felt like really encapsulated joy. And then vitality, it's got to go to Mahalo. Mahalo is vitality. Vitalizing joy. Absolutely. Makes me want to take the back road. Makes me want to find the long way home. Here we go. Splash that around. Okay, now we're using the same kind of soft green. Just building up that grass. Here we go. Hello. Just like that. Like this. I like that. Like this, like this, I like that. Oh, I like this. Like that. Like this, like this, I like that. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Let it do. Let it do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. How are we looking? Let me stand back here. Coming along. Coming along. Hello, George. Welcome on back, George. Lovely to have you here. And Joe. Oh my God, it's my friend Seb. Still don't know why it's so bright. G'day, Joe. The sun's at that sort of half-mast mark. So when it's there, the way it cuts across, it does come out very, very bright. Everyone that wants to, say where they're from and let us know the favourite experience and types. I like that, V. That's a good conversation. I'm a big fan. I'm going to guess that there's someone in this room from Chicago. That's my guess. We have a Chicago person in the room, hanging about. If you're from Chicago, I've just called you out. Hello, Rick. Is that you, Richard? Are you from Chicago? Did I find you? Yes, 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 I got you. Who is that? That's not the vibe. Gotcha. Got him. We have a Chicago in the room. That makes me happy. Oh, Milwaukee. Alan, Milwaukee's a good one. It's a good one. Great name. And New York City. New York City's a goodie too. New York City is home to like double digits original works that I make. Double digits now. More than Chicago. But New York City is the go. Such a good city for original artwork. but you can't see any of it. You can't see it because it's all in private homes, and that kind of breaks my heart. So I do need to develop a relationship with someone in New York to have some work displayed around the clock. It's sort of unfair. You're like, I'm from New York, and I'm like, oh cool. There's art there, but you can't see it. Like, but unfair. Mexican. CDMX or where? I've been to CDMX. I love CDMX. Big fan of CDMX. I had a friend there. Great guy. Great personality. Just wants the best for people. He stayed at my brother and I stayed at his house, which is an apartment. Looks over the Angel of Independence. Amazing place. Amazing place. Great guy. Amazing place. No complaints. As if I could. Alabama. Welcome in, Alabama. Big fan of Alabama. Alright. Now, art styles. Change of plan. Change of plan. Enough of the locations. Whose favourite art is abstract? Specifically, like, not like this. This is Impressionism. We're talking full-on crazy, just colour everywhere, make it abstract. Who loves that the most? And you can't just say yes. I want to know why. I want to know why that's the favourite. Why does abstract really do it for you? Or if it's not abstract, I'm open to Picasso. Alright. That's it. Is that, wait, when you say Picasso, genuinely because it's your favourite? Can I paint you a Sunday? Of course I can. Absolutely. Link in bio. I'd love to. Picasso. Is that because he's your favourite? Or are you saying that you just like the artist? Because Picasso, discoverer of Cubism, did a bunch of kind of works. He gravitated, he jumped around, he chopped and changed a lot. And these are factors. So like, when you say Picasso, you almost need to say what era of Picasso you're directly talking about. Because that's a factor. Some of this over here. There we go. Some of this. Just a little bit of my magenta and red mix. Just a little bit. Not enough to overpower the painting with these colours, but just enough to actually make it good. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to splash that around. Let this all just dust over. Nice. Beautiful colour. One up next. God, that magenta's just got that punch to it. It's just got that crispness to the colour. We've used earthy tones so far, but to come on in with something like this is just potent. Themes resonate the most. Do they? Desire, themes of desire resonate the most. Do they? What does paint capture the best? Does it do desire? I think one thing that paint captures more than anything else, would be personality and love. And so with portraiture, there's certainly something that a painting sometimes has in it more, like Scream, for example, or like, what's another example? Vincent van Gogh. His paintings of himself have something else in them beyond what a picture of himself would have, if that makes sense. So I think when it comes to capturing character, personality, and I say love because the act of making something onto a surface and having that human element from a rudimentary form, I think love's an important part, not just in painting, but anything that you create. You can sense it. If it was a labour of love, if there was passion behind it, you can feel it, you know? It's different. So love, character, and personality would be the fundamental things for art to capture. In my mind. Now, you're welcome to like other things more. Of course you can. But that's where I see the real money maker. The real, what do you call it? The money maker, the real hammer hitting the anvil, the real money shot, the real, what do you call it when something's right on the money? What do you call it when it's like just right? Character, personality, and love. That's what art's for, the real keystone. The keystone, it's a good term. On those Roman gateways, there's always little V's, and the one in the middle, the big fat one, that's the keystone. Fair enough. Expressionism is a good one. Yeah, expressionism is good, and in this case here, we're dabbling in impressionism because we have got a picture and we're creating an impression of the bull. So we're stepping away from the craziness of abstraction, which goes in all directions, and the realism that tries to make things exact and perfect everywhere. And we're using these rudimentary tools, these dirty plates, this paint that's all washy and mixed up and colourful, and a brush which is so rudimentary and primal in today's age. And we're trying to paint something, make something, an impression of this bull with these tools. So naturally it's not going to be perfect, but in that imperfection, the beauty comes out. That's what we're after. We're after an impression of it. If it was expressionism, we'd get more feelings into it, more confused. It would look less like the subject and more like me trying to get feelings off my chest inside the work. So Scream, for example, the painting, is not the best example of exactly what that person looked like at that moment, but it's a great example of how the painter or that person felt in that moment. They warped scales, they changed environments, they altered reality to better enhance the emotions. We're not altering reality to enhance the emotions of this bull, we're actually methodically capturing the elements of the bull in an impressionist way. It's very different. Can you paint Philippines eagle idol? Well, I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like an exciting thing to paint. I'll preface it by saying I'll paint anything that'll bring more love, connection, and joy into the world. If it's going to do that, then absolutely I'll paint that thing. Deal me up. I'll make it happen. A good artist is like a lover who doesn't paint inside the lines and express the internal world. There's some massive leaps there. I'm not quite following. I think a good artist gets what they feel internally and put it into the world, but I don't think that that's a must. I think the best artist would connect authentically with people through time and space, whether it's through, I feel like Van Gogh, even though he's dead and gone, his artwork still connects us to Van Gogh. It still makes us feel connected. Yeah. And, hold on. Jeepers creepers. Let me grab that one there. And we'll just go like this. How rude. How rude when I'm here wearing my rivet undies, my cheap warehouse undies. Anyway, you're right about that. I'd love to see this finished. I have to go. Have a great day, Seb. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. we'll catch you later. Thanks for joining in, and yeah, it's going to change a lot throughout the layers. It's going to change into more and more colours, but we want to keep about as much. Let me flick this across here. We'll get a bit more definition, but at the moment it's quite flat, so a bit more definition to build the depth up. But then it's in a good place. I like it. Anyway, look after yourself, High Priestess. Good luck on the hypnotising. Go. Splash that round through there. Yeah, that's okay, LJ. We've been going live for how long now? Years, but I feel like it's a defeat when I have to be like, guys, but like at the same time, it's sometimes you have to rise to the argument. But guys, we're here to paint. We're here to make an inclusive environment. We're here to make you guys actually be a part of the process. It's the idea of being here is that art's a lonely process typically. If I do this by myself, the work actually gets infused with isolation and therefore down that line, numbness. Continue down that path for me personally. We're going into from isolation and loneliness to numbness to all sorts of negative thoughts or feelings that get transposed onto the surface. That's not the art that we want. The art that we want has joy, has vitality, has flow, has fun, and most importantly, connects me to whoever sees it. You've got to be able to look at the art and think the artist had fun when he did that. I like the art. It makes me feel perky. If it doesn't do that, it's not what I want to be doing with it. I want it to have that sort of cheeky, after you look at it for a while, you think, oh, I like that. It wants to keep on giving. You know, it doesn't want you to fully understand it within the minute or so that you get with it in a gallery. It wants you to keep on looking at it day after day after day and just keep on learning more about it, seeing new strokes and understanding it in different ways. Sometimes there's some massive works and that I love to look at, and a solo gala, and the more I look at them, the more I see them in different ways, through different perspectives, different colours, different times of day, and the value for me just grows and grows and grows. Because the value of no piece of art is in the one moment when you see it and buy it. Like, that's one instance. But like a song, it's really good, but the value in a piece of art over a song, which could be euphoric the first time you hear it, is that every single day when you see it, it adds a bit more value. And so the actual value of the art and what it does for your life is actually accumulated over long-term exposure. Kind of like having a carrot or a piece of broccoli every day. It's not going to make a difference on that day. It's going to make zero difference. But over time, one broccoli a day, 5 years from now, that's a lot of veggies. You're going to be a healthy boy or girl. And that's what art wants to bring into your life. And so, what I would suggest to you, I'm not saying go out and buy, I'm not sure what your financial position is, don't go out and buy a really expensive painting. But welcome art in. And that doesn't mean, you know, immediately go find it. It's kind of like saying I'm going to get back in, you know, I'm going to find someone I love or like or make a relationship. That doesn't mean dive into the next relationship you see. Don't just buy art for the sake of it. But open yourself up to the possibility that you could find art. And just like a relationship, if you open yourself up to the possibility, it may come. More importantly, if it does come, you're not going to push it away. And if you're at a farmer's market or online or on a website or in a gallery and you see something that you connect with and you like it, the sooner that enters your life to start giving you that passive income of happiness, the better off you're going to be. And I really mean that. What's your connection of art and music? Oh my god, that mosquito bite's itching again. Zero connection. I'm not very musically gifted. I struggle. Struggle to hear and understand notes. But that being said, I I feel like there's a connection between painting and music because they have this complete opposite to them. When you hear a song, like for me, if I hear World of Our Own by Westlife, I want to just pelt that out in the car and I have a euphoric experience for 3 minutes. It's well above and beyond what you'd get from a painting. But I can't listen to Little World of Our Own day after 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 day and still get the same kick. It gives me one kick of euphoria and it's infrequently, you know, and there has to be big gaps in between. But if I have a painting, it gives me a much smaller kick, but it can give me that same kick every day. So now we're comparing sudden exposure, joy, euphoria with long-term little perks, little bits of euphoria. So it's a different experience, but they're actually one and the same, if that makes sense. They're both giving value to your life, but one suddenly and one through a bit of distance. And this is a bull. This is a big, juicy Brahman cross bull. And we, as soon as you put those reds into it, it gets that life to it. Look at that, glorious. I want some dioxide purple to it too, but we're going to hold fire on that. Just going to give it this red for now. Splash a little bit of this into the background. Just a few touch points. Just a few. Just start building up. There we go. Lovely. Alright, last colour team. This is the last colour we're adding. At the end of this, your artist is going to disappear. And you will be left on your own to traverse the landscape of the wild web. And I hope it takes you somewhere wholesome, to a fun little corner where you can continue to actually get a good vibe from what life has to offer. And if it's 2 AM where you are and you're laying there in bed, you feel like you can't sleep, just try and put the phone down, just for a few minutes. And see if sleep comes. If it doesn't, pick the phone back up, keep doom scrolling, but give yourself a chance. And also, most importantly, my last piece of advice is don't take random advice from random Kiwis. And if you do, take it with a grain of salt. Okay. I like the hints of magenta. Me too. I'm a big fan. Not to be weird. Is your house or bedroom filled with your art or art of others? Oh, good question. Is my house filled with my art or art from others? Okay, it is filled with not my art. It's filled with prints of products I've sent away and other people's art. So typically I'll keep a couple of originals so I can see the paint, but to make me not miss an original and help me get over it, I will buy a print of it. So that way I have a small reminder of it, rather than you work and work and work and work and work on it, and then it gets to conclusion and it disappears. So right when it's at its greatest stage, you lose it. This will slowly wear you down as an artist, and you'll psychologically find ways to manipulate the process to be longer at the end, or find excuses not to finish it, just so you can hold on to it for longer. So short answer, a few of my own works, mostly prints, and then other people's art. Yeah, if you find art that you love, bring it into your home as soon as possible to start actually giving you that passive value. And I'll connect you with a friend who lives in New York City. Well, that sounds lovely. But anyway, I need to dash. You have been absolute champions, guys, and I wish you all the best. Cheers. And look after yourself. Bye, guys. Oh, and thanks for the 16,000 likes, you absolute bunch of champions. The one thing we're struggling with here, though, we need to change this lighting situation needs a bit of altering. But anyway, there's the bull we got. Cheers, guys. Bye now.